If you're shipping your own orders right now, you already know the feeling. You're packing boxes when you should be running ads. You're printing labels at 11 p.m. Orders are piling up, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you're asking, is there a better way to do this? And maybe you've heard the term 3PL thrown around. Maybe someone told you to look into it, but you don't know if it's actually the right move for where you're at right now. I'm Jake from EcoShip, a 3PL out of Reading, Pennsylvania, and I've personally watched brands move too quickly to a 3PL and burn cash, or I've watched them wait too long and cap their own growth because fulfillment became the ceiling to their business. I've been on the inside of a dozen of these decisions, and I want to share the information I've gained with you. So by the end of this video, you'll know with 100% certainty whether a 3PL, which stands for third-party logistics company, is the right move for your business right now. And I want you to avoid moving too soon and paying too much, and to avoid missing opportunities by moving too late and capping your growth. We'll use a two-step process. Let's get into it now. Okay, so for step one, it's pretty simple. It's why move? The first thing I want to say clearly, a 3PL is not automatically the right answer. It's not the right answer when you have a real problem if you don't have one of these 4 reasons to actually move to a 3PL. If you don't have these reasons, keep shipping your own orders. Okay, reason number 1, you want to save money on shipping. This is the most common reason I hear, and I want to be straight with you about it because most people get this really wrong. If you're under 300 orders per month, a 3PL will probably not save you money. And the reason is simple, because right now you're shipping from free space, your house or your garage. And your labor cost is your own time, which isn't showing up as a line item on your P&L. A 3PL charges for both of those, so the math doesn't really work yet. 3PL save you money if you have space and labor. If you're over 300 orders per month and you're already paying for space and paying people to ship, now we're talking about saving money. You're already carrying these costs. So a 3PL often manages those costs more efficiently than you can on your own. So if you're under 300, not yet. If you're over 300, worth the conversation. So if we are if we're greater than 300 orders, yes. If we are less than 300 orders, no, don't move. The second reason to move is that you're just simply out of space. So 2, out of space. Your garage or your spare room or storage unit, it's just full and you physically cannot receive inventory because there's just nowhere to put it. So you have 2 options. You could go lease a space. You could A, lease, or you could B, get a 3PL. Both solve the problem. It just depends on where your business is going. If you are growing really quickly and you don't want to sign a lease, wait on a lease because you're going to outgrow it really quickly. Move to a 3PL instead. Okay, so B is 3PL. Do lease if slow growth. And a 3PL, that's going to unlock fast growth. Okay, so that's what you're looking at for number 2. If you're out of space, you can either lease or you can get a 3PL. Do a lease if you're growing slowly, get a 3PL to unlock faster growth. Reason number 3 here, you can't focus on growth. This is honestly the most important reason on the list and the one I care most about. If fulfillment is eating your day and you have 0 time to work on your business, you want to run more ads, post more content, get new products, but you simply don't have the time because you're packing boxes, then you have 2 paths. So let's map this out. So number 3, can't grow. So if you're here, you can do one of 2 things. You can A, you can hire people and learn to lead them well, and that's a real skill and it's honestly worth developing. I've got a full video on how to hire warehouse staff as well if you're interested. Or you could outsource it to a 3PL and buy back your focus that way. So you can A, hire people and lead. Or B, outsource to 3PL. Again, neither one of these options is wrong. It just depends on your specific strengths. What are you good at? Are you better with people? Then go ahead and hire people and learn to lead them. Or are you better at marketing, growth, and not so great with people, don't love the idea of working with a lot of people, outsource it to a 3PL. Okay, the 4th reason I see people move to a 3PL is because they just don't want to ship the orders. So maybe you're not drowning in orders. Maybe you just genuinely hate packing boxes and never want it to be a part of a job. And that's a real reason with one honest caveat, right? If you have 0 orders, you have 0 experience and 0 capital, you need to push through it for now, because you will waste a lot of money paying a 3PL to do your job while you figure out how to grow and run your business. There's just not a shortcut there. But if you have some volume, even 5 orders a day, experience or capital, you can go find your 3PL. You won't have the issue of wasting a lot of time trying to figure out how to run the business. Honestly, I see too many operators who move to a 3PL before selling a single product because they just don't want to be stuck shipping the orders. So the 4th reason why people move here is 4, don't want to ship. If you have money, experience, or volume, go for it. Change to a 3PL. If you have neither, stay. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your cash on learning how to run your business. You got to learn how to do it first, and then you can outsource it. Okay, that was step 1. Do you have an actual reason to move to a 3PL right now or not? Step 2 is, will a 3PL fit your business? I like to break this into a couple different categories. So 3PLs are looking at your business to see, can they fulfill well and make good profit off of your business? That's what they're here to do, right? They're looking at 3 buckets. Is this an easy client, a medium client, or a hard client? The easier you are, the more 3PL options you will have to select from. The hard, if you have everything in hard here, you're gonna have very, very limited options. And if you have very hard stuff, you may not actually have any options. So let's start with easy. So what is an easy client for a 3PL? If this describes you, you got a lot of options. The first thing, number 1, is D2C only through Shopify. Okay, if you have only direct consumer orders through Shopify, you're looking great. Okay, number 2 is a SKU to order ratio of 6 to 1. So here we're looking at what is the number of SKUs that you have for the number of orders you have per month. So I wrote this incorrectly. It's 1 to 6. So we want 1 SKU for every 6 orders per month. So as an example here, we're looking at, let's say we have 30 SKUs, then we're looking for 30 times 6. We're looking for 180 orders per month. Okay, this is a great balance for a 3PL. If you're out of balance on this, then it's going to be harder to find a 3PL partner. So these are the easy things. If you're just in this area, great. You have a lot of great options for a 3PL. The more things we add in our other areas, the harder it's going to get. Okay, next we're going to move on to the more medium difficulty things. What makes it a little harder, but it's not a deal breaker for most 3PLs. So medium, we're looking at number 1 is temperature control. So we're not looking for refrigeration here. We're just looking for temperature control. So that's air conditioning. It's for moisture. It's keeping products between like 75, 78 degrees within the warehouse. That's going to be a little harder to find in a 3PL. Most warehouses are not air conditioned. Okay, number 2 is going to be custom packaging. Especially if you have less than 300 orders per month, this is going to be a lot harder to get from a 3PL, custom packaging. Especially the larger ones, for 300 orders per month, they're going to say, no, we're just going to use our packaging. Number 3, heavy kitting. Okay, what do I mean by this? I mean, if you have a lot of components going into a very specific arrangement of products, that's going to be harder to find from a 3PL. Some will do it. The larger ones probably will not. A smaller one will do it for you. As an example, at our 3PL, we will make subscription boxes. So they'll include, 10 different products within a box. We put them all in there. We put a gift card. We put wrapping. We put it all together and bundle it into one thing to send it out to customers. Now, a larger 3PL probably won't do that. We're a smaller 3PL, so we can. But the more heavy kitting you have, the harder it can be to find something. Number 4, that's going to make it hard to find a 3PL. If you are a startup with no volume and not willing to pay a min, okay? I'm just telling you honestly, I'm trying to be as honest as possible here. If you're a startup and you have no volume and you're not willing to pay a minimum, it's going to be harder to find a 3PL. You may need to pay that minimum in order to get your 3PL right out of the gate. Number 5, glass and fragile. It just requires more care and attention. If, again, it all matches to your volume. If you're shipping 10,000 orders per month and you go with a place like ShipBob, they'll take care of you. They'll do your stuff for you well. But if you're shipping 300 orders per month, they may not take the best care of you. You might want a smaller 3PL that can take better care of this stuff. All right, so this is medium difficulty of finding a 3PL if you have some of these things. It'll be a little harder, but it's not impossible. Last up, we're going to look at hard. What would make it hard to find a 3PL in your position? So I'll tell you just based on what I've seen in the past. Okay, so if we're looking at hard, we have a couple of things. Number 1, we have custom engraving. There are some 3PLs who do this. We don't. Honestly, we don't do this. But there are some that do. If you're looking for custom engraving for every single order, then you're going to have a harder time finding a 3PL, just letting you know. Okay. Number 2, you have a unique SKU for every order. That's going to make it pretty tough for a 3PL to fulfill because we want repeatability. We want things to be predictable. And so having a unique SKU for every order means that there is no scalability that can happen for the 3PL. Makes it a little more difficult. Okay, number 3, we're looking at refrigeration. If you need your products to be refrigerated, again, you're going to just have less options for a 3PL. There are plenty of options that exist out there, but don't expect to have a lot of them. Especially if you're under like 500 orders per month looking for refrigeration, you're going to have honestly a really, really tough time finding that. You might find 1 or 2 or 3 3PLs in the country that can do that with that volume. Most of the times refrigerated, they're looking for higher volume. So if you have any of this stuff, you may need to stick with with your own fulfillment for longer versus moving to a 3PL. All right, number 4 is we're looking at manufacturing. So if you need the 3PL to actually make the stuff too, not just ship the stuff, that's going to really narrow the field of who's going to fit you well. That could be clothing manufacturing, it could be any sort of textiles. It could be for food like CPG, it could be CPG manufacturing. It's going to limit the number of options that you have if you need manufacturing as well. All right, number 5 is glass is bulky products, not glass, bulky products. So we're looking at like furniture, right? If you're shipping out desks and chairs and couches and they're not flat packed, like that's going to be harder to find a 3PL for. They exist. One that I know that does bulky stuff, Red Stag Fulfillment. They do large and bulky things, but again, their volume commitments may be too much for you for what you're looking at right now. If the more things you have in the hard column, the harder it will be to find a 3PL. And you may just need to stick with doing self-fulfillment for longer because you can't find a 3PL that's going to match with the volume you're at. If you're at 200 orders per month and you're doing any one of these things, honestly, you're going to have a really tough time finding a 3PL. But if you have more things in the medium column, this thing, it's going to be easier. If you're just easy, you will have a wealth of options to choose from in the 3PL space. So it's just 2 steps. That's the whole test. It's first, do you have a real reason to move? Because good reasons, they're cost savings. You're out of space. You can't focus on growth, or you just don't want to do it and you have the volume, capital, or past experience to actually make the move and make it work. Or second, does your business fit what 3PLs actually do? The closer you are to standard D2C, the more options you actually have. And if you have both, you are ready to move to a 3PL. And if you want a full guide on how to actually find, select, and onboard with the right 3PL, I've got a complete video on that too. You can look at the link below. I'm Jake from EcoShip. You can reach me anytime at jake@ecoship.com. Thank you and see you in the next one.